A university consortium led by Rutgers has been tapped to help create an Armed Forces Institute for Regenerative Medicine. The U.S. Army and some other federal agencies have pledged millions of dollars to develop new ways to heal war wounds. Science and technology correspondent Patrick Regan reports.
The normal channel from these laboratories to the outside world leads through private companies that make biomedical products to repair hernias, for example, or prevent infection around cardiac implants. The challenge of helping soldiers recover from severe injuries and burns has given the New Jersey Center for Biomaterials a new, urgent mission. The labs of the Biomaterials Center were designed to speed up development of targeted tools for healing, to help regenerate cells and tissues, and restore vital functions. The center is now headquarters for one of two teams that make up AFIRM, the Armed Forces Institute of Regenerative Medicine, with Rutgers the prime contractor for a $42.5 million grant. The university and the New Jersey Commission on Science and Technology are also funding the project.
We are arranging a team of more than 14 universities that are all of our subcontractors. When you think about regenerating bone, nerve, skin, blood vessels, you immediately realize that you need a wide range of different mindsets and different expertise. And so in building this team, I made a very strong effort to try to balance it across the material sciences, the engineering, and the biology, in particular the stem cell and cell biology. We even have transplant surgeons on the team who stand ready to explore new ways to transplant whole limbs from one person to the other.
Biochemist and center director Joachim Kohn stresses that this is not a research enterprise, noting that he shares leadership of the team with a Cleveland-based surgeon.
The purpose of AFIRM is to bring new products to the clinic as fast as possible and to make an impact to alleviating human suffering and pain for initially the service members serving in Iraq and Afghanistan, and then ultimately spreading to the entire civilian population to hasten their return to productive lives.
Patrick Regan, NJN News, Piscataway.